to Fearless Fridays, your day to reclaim your weekend and your life. Today's topic is about just doing it, and not in the traditional sense that you might associate with it. So this past Wednesday, during our What's Up Wednesday call that we have every week on the Inner Circle, we spoke about anchors and essentially how our life is like a boat and the ebb and flow of life is the water. And past events that we don't want to deal with, or that we think we've dealt with via our mind but not energetically or emotionally, we toss over and we say, oh, I'm done with that, only to find out years later that that anchor has been weighting us down. Now, what happens when we toss those things overboard and don't deal with them energetically or emotionally? What happens is it weights our boat down, our life down, and because we're fixed in place, that creates a false sense of stability. So when the ebb and flow of the tides of life happen, the high points and the low points, we have this false sense of security because of all these things that are weighting us down. And what happens when we realize that we have those things weighting us down, we can either choose to cut the cord or cut that rope to let the anchor go, or actually reel it in, pick it up, look at that anchor for what it is, the value that we can glean from it. Whether it's a financial situation that has really affected us in the past, whether it is a relationship, an actual like intimate or romantic relationship that all of a sudden is starting to flow back into our life, whether it's a place that we used to live in that just really pulls at our heartstrings. All these anchors that we have are those what ifs, are those shoulda, woulda, couldas, are those regrets or mistakes. I really don't like to call them mistakes. I really like to call them discoveries. But all of those things that are weighting us down, if we choose to, and when we choose to pull that anchor up and look at it for what it really is and see the value that it holds for us, and how much by looking at this thing, this anchor, how much value and appreciation and gratitude that we can find in this particular event that has been holding us back from reaching the shore, from allowing us to really set sail and move forward in life. When we look at it for what it is and energetically choose to finally address it, then we really can have the life that we want and the freedom that we want in life. But so many times, and I know so many people that pull that anchor up or leave it in the water and just see it and go, yeah, I know it's there, but I'm not going to deal with it. Or they'll say, I'm just going to sit with this for a while. And so many times I see people pull that anchor up and just let it stare them in the face and choose to not dig deep and look at it for what it is. Look at it for the value that it holds. Look at it for the lessons that we learn. Look at it through the eyes of appreciation and gratitude. And they almost get frozen in fear. And I know, I've been there. And when we allow these past events or these past relationships or these past anything, life that has happened, that we energetically just say, I'm not ready for this yet, and egotistically we're like, oh yeah, I'm done, we throw it overboard, and it lets us be stuck in our bay of life. When we allow that to hold us back, when we allow that to keep us frozen in fear, we're choosing not to really live life. We're choosing to stay stuck in that area. So this week, I would love if you would really look at what in your life are you choosing to ignore energetically and emotionally. What in your life? What are those what ifs, those shoulda, woulda, couldas, those regrets, those discoveries that you've made in the past that you have with your mind says, oh yeah, I'm done with that. But they keep cropping up energetically and spiritually, especially emotionally, and they just keep saying, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm here. If you notice that those little things keep popping up, look over the side of your boat and see if that anchor is still attached to your boat. And if it is, choose to pull that up. Choose to look at that relationship, that financial hardship, that scenario or situation that may have been traumatic or challenging. And instead of just sitting with it and not doing anything about it, sit with it and make a choice. Choose to work with it a little bit, then toss it overboard, and then when you're ready again, pull it up and work with it again. Or work with it and emotionally allow yourself to see the gratitude and the appreciation and the value from that particular situation, and then be willing to move forward and cut that rope or untie the rope and throw the anchor overboard for good. And what that will allow you to do is to free up your boat, your life, from that false stability that holding on to all that stuff from the past can give you. And yes, at first, it's going to seem very tumultuous. Life may seem very tumultuous and very chaotic because now you're finally free. You're finally really, truly riding the ebb and flow and the waves for what they truly are, instead of that false sense of stability. But you'll notice that when you do that, you can look in your boat and realize that you have a motor, you have an oar or two oars, you have a paddle, you have a sail. Those are tools and skills that you can choose to use and move forward in your life. You can choose to go up to the shore. You can choose to go to a different island. You can choose to set sail into the sunset. You can choose to move somewhere instead of where you're stuck at right now. So this week, I strongly encourage you to look at those things that are holding you back. Look at those anchors that are weighting your life down and choose to not just sit with it, but take it a step further and feel it and emotionally work through it. And I can guarantee you that once you sit with that discomfort of that thing and feel the emotions coming up and honor those emotions and honor what that situation has created for you and honor it with gratitude and appreciation, and then be willing to release it and cut those ties and be willing to ride those waves, knowing that your boat will never sink, knowing that you have the tools and the skills and the abilities to go to the shore or to go to another island, to go to and towards your goals in life. But if you keep holding back and holding on to those anchors, those goals are going to be very challenging to reach. Give yourself permission this week to really look at these things. And when you look at those things that are popping into your head, the what ifs, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, know that when those things are finally addressed, when those things are finally looked at for what they are, and you choose to make a choice instead of just sitting with it, know that that is the first step in becoming fearlessly inspired and living a fearless life. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.